There was even a question about fake meat.
About fake meat?
Would you be in favor of the government approving fake like meat that was grown
In a
inside
lab.
in a lab
3D printed
to
meat.
consume
Yeah, 3D printed meat. They're doing that in Europe.
Yeah.
What kind of Hello, hello, hello. This is Denise from the Tao Talk podcast. We are live right now. It is Sunday, October 26th at an odd hour, 7:45 p.m. We just decided to go live for a quick discussion. Not sure if anybody's here, but we'll give a few minutes to see if people come along. And in the meantime, we're just gonna chat because we did obviously a week ago was the No Kings protests, and on Sunday we did a segment regarding our experience attending them, and I got interviewed by Mother Jones magazine, and we had some fun. But the post we did had a whole lot of crazy comments from people. Some I engaged with, and some I just said, you know what, let's just leave it. But it's interesting the attention that the video got. So Neil has some of the posts that are in there, and we're gonna chat with them.
Need a second to get
Need a
this
second,
posted,
okay.
I want to post a link, so just taking a second to post a link.
Okay.
So that people can find us. All right, so No Kings. Hold on, we got some comments here. All right, so we do have some comments. We want to make sure we address those comments. Heart Tracy 7214. She says she loves us. That's great. Thanks. Our viewers are the best.
It's
We want to
actually
recognize all of them.
Actually, it's him. I've engaged with him. He also follows us on Facebook,
Oh, that's
and
great.
he's local. He's someone who's local. So I think Tracy is his last name,
Okay.
or it's a cover name. You know, it's not his real name.
Well, Hard Tracy 7214 then also said, "Good for us, causing a war and then subtly acting like it wasn't their own selves." Yes, very much so.
Yes,
Very much so. Thank you very much for
absolutely
the
agree.
comment.
Thank you for engaging and sharing.
Right. At Doglog5748. Happy delusional communist propaganda day. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Oh God,
Absolutely,
like
100%.
people, communist.
It's the dumbest thing.
I know. I mean,
these people wouldn't know what communism, capitalism, any ism is. These people have no idea what the hell they're talking about. I love it. It's great.
When the message is, they're communist, socialist, fascist all at once.
Right.
Yeah, those things are not the same thing. I'm sorry, they're just not.
How about this? Go to Sweden, go to Finland, go to Norway, go to Switzerland, call them communists.
Yeah.
And see how they feel about that, because they will turn to you and say, our democracy is better than your democracy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's what they will say to you. We love our country. We love living here. Right. Don't come back.
Right.
Okay. Like, seriously. I mean, that's a joke. Right. The fact is you don't know what any of these isms are. Right. But I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you commenting. Right. Love all you. Peace out. Next one. At MN Big Dog 9476. He says, "Laugh my ass off, clowns." Woo! Yeah, that's us. We're the big clowns. Got the clown face and everything. Yeah, that's us. Whatever. Dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. Don't keep being apathetic. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for watching. Love you. MRM 2724. You are the problem with this nation.
In what
Ah,
way?
yes. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
that's
It's
always just
whatever.
like a
That's
blanket
that's
statement.
right. That's the we don't want any other opinion other than the ones that we agree with, you know?
Absolutely.
But here's the funny part. Did you come up with that opinion on your own? Or was that opinion given to you by some Northeast elite, right? Like at Fox News that manufactured whatever it is that you believe in, right? So that way you're following, right? You call us the sheep when it's in fact you're the sheep, dude.
Yeah,
Sorry to tell you that, right?
running them
I
right
do
off a
actually
cliff.
think for myself. So, yeah, good for you, man. Appreciate it. Um, at ZAL Ron Wow 72222.
The
How do
hell
you
with these names.
feel? Oh wow, he wrote a big one. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Get it.
this was a whole conversation. I think this was the
Uh,
guy I had the whole conversation with.
how do you feel about the protest now that it has come that it was a stunt? A
Oh,
stunt
no,
to
not
keep the
him. It's
government
different.
closed, and thousands upon thousands of government workers did not get paid. Thought you were the government workers and the working class. Thanks, dude. Yes, yes. It we clearly control. The Democrats clearly control, right? All the branches of government to shut it down in every way.
In every
We
way.
can clearly see the control that the Democrats have, you know. Or maybe you were referring to me being Jewish, and maybe the Jews shut down the government because that's just as plausible, right?
With
Like
space lasers. They use space
right,
lasers.
right. We use Jewish space lasers to shut down the government.
Oh my
It's the
god.
dumbest. It's the dumbest. Like this was like people saying this comes back right when people used to say to me, well, you were there. Why didn't you help? They didn't give me access to the damn books, right? Like you know, you're not in power. You have no power. You have no ability to do anything, right? You're not getting anything done. Do the Democrats have the ability to obstruct certain things? Yes. Do the Democrats have any power to shut down the government? Absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely not.
they absolutely not. And I think this was the guy that I went on into the conversation with where I pointed out, that that Republicans hold all they hold the House, the Senate, the presidency, SCOTUS, and he was like, "Oh, filibuster." I'm like, "Filibuster my ass." The fact is that they have changed the rules multiple times in
Yeah.
in this process. Perfect example is the appointees. They got frustrated with the appointees because, Democrats were stretching it out, doing long questioning. And
Right.
so what did they do? They said, screw you. You now have to vote on like dozens of them all at once. One vote. Poof, put them through. So we don't have to waste time. So a lot of people got through without really being fully vetted, if at all. So,
Well, sorry.
yeah, but
Continue.
my point is that, if they really wanted to open the government, they'd be there. They'd be there. And that's the other thing. That's the other point. They're not there. Like if they really want to open the government, where the fuck are they? They're all on vacation. They've been on vacation since July. Like they were in session for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then as soon as Anita Grijalva, sorry if I misspelled her name, Annalita Grijalva, got she got elected. It was time to go and swear her in. They're not doing that either. Why isn't she being sworn in? Well, because she's the 218th signatory on the discharge petition to release the Epstein files. So, they're changing rules. That's never been done before. They're
You're not
changing
allowed
rules.
you're not allowed to say Epstein files. That'll get us banned. Don't you know that?
Oh, God. Really? Ah. But seriously, the rules have been changing since this whole administration, for lack of a better word, got started. So if they really want to open end the shutdown, they could do it. They could be there. They're not there. And it's interesting to note that if you people recall, when the shutdown began, who was it? Scott Besson or Nutlick, whatever his name is, Howard Limp Dick, whatever. What a
Lutnick.
whatever. I like Limp Dick, but anyway, I think it was
Yes,
him who
I can
got
totally
on
tell.
Fox News and said that this is this is Russell Vaught's, I don't know, adolescent wet dream or something. He's been dreaming about this since puberty. Yeah. He was looking forward to the shutdown. He's the guy who's handling he's the one with now the purse strings because the Congress gave it up. I thought it was Congress's job to hold the purse strings. They don't hold it
Listen,
anymore.
Johnson just announced today that he's not calling anybody back before November. And not for nothing. What I don't think is helpful, right? There was recently a sports announcer, I'm not going to mention his name,
Okay.
um, who made a comment about Jasmine Crockett, saying that she should be nicer to the other side, and that because she has to work with these people and she has to go to them, and it's always this attitude that the Democrats are the ones that have to compromise. The Democrats have to go be the ones to grovel, to with their hands between their legs, right? Saying, please give me this, right? Like, it's the same attitude, right? The Republicans have shown absolutely no movement whatsoever. They
Right.
have not reached out to the other side. They have not held conversations or negotiations with the other side, right? I think AOC even said, I'm not leaving Washington. I'm here in my office. Come see me anytime. I'm willing to negotiate. If I'm responsible for, like she flat out said, right? Because they blamed her. And she said, if I'm responsible, I'm in my office. I'm not leaving. Come negotiate with me. I'm here waiting for you.
Right.
Right? Like, the narrative doesn't fly anymore. I mean, this idea, they keep
Exactly.
pushing it. Listen, it's like P.T. Barnum trying to sell you that flea circus.
Yes.
You know, they just keep pushing the sale, but nobody's buying at this point in time. The only people that are buying it are the people who bought the snake oil before.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
I want to point this out too, because while they're not in Congress, they're also not talking to their constituents. Like, if they cared about their constituents are also impacted by this shutdown. Why are they not? They should be there for them. And they're
no,
calling and they're being called.
listen. You see it here in local politics. It's the same thing, right?
Yes.
Are we seeing a debate among the candidates? No.
No, it's like
Are
nobody debates anymore.
Right. All you're seeing is one side saying, "We didn't do anything wrong. Everything is great." You it's the other side's fault. If something bad has happened, it's the other side's fault, right? And they're
Mhm.
both kind of doing that, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
my feeling is nobody gets paid. You shove them all into a room together, right? All 500 people. I don't give a shit. Shove them all into a room together. Nobody gets paid until they can come up with a compromise in that room.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. All our congressional members, doesn't matter what side they're on, they're getting paid.
Right.
Well, nobody else is. Well, we're wondering, what our if we're going to have any kind of subsidies of any kind, um, come November.
Right.
November 1st is when open enrollment begins.
You're not getting any
For
subsidies.
no,
It's not going to happen.
no,
They don't care. They've
this is the
absolutely shown.
plan. This is
Right.
the plan.
This is the plan, right? They have to, have their tax cuts for their billionaire friends. Okay, this was the promise that was made to them. Okay, and so now to keep that promise, the only way to keep that promise is to cut these subsidies, and that's what's paying for it.
Yeah.
End of story. There is no other story. Okay, they don't care about you. Like, as soon as everybody realizes that the political class in this country does not care about you, they will do whatever they can to get your vote to stay in power. Other than that, they will not do anything for you.
Yeah.
Okay? Like it's really rare that you see somebody, who will try to go out of their way to do everything they can to help somebody who comes to the door, right? Um, you know, and when you see those people, you got to back them.
Yeah.
But all you see is really just people trying to keep their vote and do shady stuff for their friends.
Yeah.
Is that really the leadership that you want? Like, is that what we've devolved to? As long as you're a narcissist and as long as you could turn around and say you own those libs, you're good. Like, I mean, like I gotta ask people that. Like that I think that's a valid question.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious. It's, what people think. But
Because that seems to be what this is all about, right? Like his followers are just like, great, he's doing this. This is gonna own those libs. Like
you're gonna own
this
yourself
isn't
too.
this isn't America. Like America, you know, i- we somehow devolved the American dream to the idea of American dream into greed, right?
Yeah.
Who can accumulate the most affluence? These billionaires are competing against each other to be the richest person in the
To be the
world,
first trillionaire.
right? Right? And no, I know a lot of people probably haven't read Depression Economics that was written by Paul Krugman back in the day, but you have $100 in singles, right?
Okay.
You have somebody that has 50 of those dollars, right? And then everybody else, then you have 50 people that each have $1. Okay. That guy who owns $50 wants to accumulate more money. He's taking that money from you. Okay. He's taking that money from you. So he's going to say, okay, give me 50 cents and I'll give you this. But then he never gives you that. Okay. This is what these guys are doing. It's they just want to be the richest people in the world, and it's a competition. Like it's all a game to them.
Yeah, it is, and, it's not red versus blue, it is, or left versus right, it is top versus down, and what they're doing, these politics that they're doing is going to erode the middle class that much more. They've been doing it for decades, and this is a long-term plan.
It already
Um
has eroded the middle class.
Oh,
Middle
yeah.
class is
Oh,
is
yeah.
is not even remotely what it was. I mean, there are more people in this country living below the poverty line than ever before.
Yeah,
And just because they have a cell phone, right? Like, I mean, that seems to be the thing. Just because they're a cell phone doesn't mean that they're not struggling,
right.
right? This day and age, you need a damn cell phone, right? You
Yeah.
need a cell phone for your job. You need a cell phone for your kids. You need a cell
They
like
used to say that about television.
it's this idea like there are certain things that become that at a certain point in the evolution of a society that no longer become a want, it becomes a need.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And when something becomes a need versus a want, you have to pay for it no matter what. Shelter, food, right? Like all these things,
Communications, a way to communicate with family members.
internet access, like there's just a lot of people don't realize your money gets eaten up really, really fucking quick. And you may want to criticize other people,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I hear people bitch and moan about money and finances all fucking day. Okay,
You're an
all
accountant.
fucking
That's
day.
like part of your
Right,
job.
right. But that's what I'm saying. So when you turn around and you say, "Well, you're being ripped off," you know but the funny thing is everybody knows that the government is being ripped off. Everybody talks about it, right? Like we all talk about the government. It just happens to be that like Democrats talk about it in a way where they would rather have Democrats ripping them off, and Republicans talk about it in a way where they only want Republicans to rip them off. How about this? How about we vote for people who just aren't going to rip us off? Have we
There's an
like
idea.
you're right. Like,
Making
why
things
not?
more
Why not?
affordable.
Right? Why not a new tact? Right? Instead of tearing people down because of a personal flaw that was brought out by some elite billionaire, right?
Yep.
Why don't we see what people do and
Oh,
then
sorry.
judge them based on their actions and either throw them out or keep them in,
There's an idea.
you
There's
know?
an I
But it's too much for people. People don't want to learn.
Yeah.
People are just easy to believe what others tell them, you know? Like I told you, I voted no for all these development projects in town.
Yes, I
Okay?
remember that. Yep.
Right? But when I ran for office, they went around saying, "Oh, but he that was his. He voted yes to that." Right? Like all you have to do is check the fucking record and you see that I voted no. Right? Like and it wasn't like I voted no to a lot of shit. Like it wasn't like I voted yes to
Yeah, I mean,
anything. Like I
politics
voted no to a
has
lot of shit.
no, I know, but what I'm saying is politics has de-evolved. We no longer talk about the issues. We no longer talk about the things we are going to do, that politicians are going to do
Oh,
for us. It's always what the other side is doing that's bad. They're bad. They're this, they're doing that. Okay, but what are you going to do that's positive? What are you going to do that's going to make life better? You know, I don't and then how are you gonna commit to keeping that promise? I mean, we're seeing a lot of promises not being kept. One of the biggest promises was making things more affordable, getting rid of inflation. Inflation is out of control. Promise to create jobs. Jobs are flying off the shelf here. There's
you
no
can't.
jobs. There's no new
But you.
jobs.
But the thing is that it was when you realize it's all rhetoric.
Oh yeah,
Right? You
yeah.
the Why did we have inflation? We had inflation because we were at full employment and salaries were going up. Right? Like it wasn't a bad thing, right? As much as people said it was a bad thing, like, there were people who were working 3 jobs who then said, "Oh, I can get rid of a job because now I'm making more money."
Oh yeah. That's such a terrible
Right?
thing.
We were at full employment in this country. Okay? Right? The economy, just because people weren't like
Oh
gaining, this gorging themselves on wealth, right? Like
no,
people
but
were,
people are doing better. People are spending money. People were taking vacations. People were buying new
but
cars.
people don't want good, right? That was the thing. They called him Sleepy Joe because what they got was good. Right? It was this idea that we didn't grow too fast, we didn't grow too slow. It was full employment, right? It was the idea that people got to work and they had some extra money and they could buy things, but people didn't have, like, it wasn't like going to a casino, right? Like
Oh, and
when
having a
Republicans are
windfall.
when Republicans are in office, that's what happens, right? Some people just have a big windfall, okay? Right? It's like hitting the casino. A lot of people get left behind, right? The people who get left behind don't vote because Democrats, when they come into office, are just like, let's just maintain the status quo,
Yeah,
right? Republicans get in office, you have that chance of that hitting it big, that big windfall, okay? And so what we need is we need really good progressive economic leadership,
yeah,
right? Where we talk about all these things in a very real way and in a very positive way, right?
yeah.
Just as you said, right? That vision. Bernie Sanders talks about that all the time. We need a vision of the future. What do we all want to see? Right? What is the American dream to all of us? Okay?
I'd be
Is it
curious
just
to hear from other
is it
people.
just right, is it just the accumulation of wealth? Is that what it's devolved to? Because it used to be, I want to raise a family, I want to have loving people around me. I want to live in a nice community that is safe to raise my children in. I want them to go to good schools and get a good education, right? That used to
A
be one of
house
the
with a
American
picket
dreams,
fence. Remember the house with the
you
picket
know?
fence?
And the great thing about the American dream, okay, was that it was unique to all of us,
Right. It's whatever it's different for each
right?
person.
It was different from each person. We all could have our own dreams, right?
Right.
We all had our own dreams. And therefore, the American dream was whatever it was, whatever it meant to all of us. And we could all find happiness in that dream. And somewhere along the way, we were told the only way you could be seen as successful is if you have money.
Right.
All right. If you didn't have money, you were not successful. And that's what we've devolved into. And some people may say, no, that's not true. But look around you. Look around you in your community, who you hold up as the leaders of your community. They're usually some type of business people,
Right.
you know?
Right.
How many times do you take that social worker, right, who's helped thousands of kids along the way, right, and honored her or him, you know? Um, how many you do that when they retire, right? Like when they retire, oh, this is great. You did such a great job for us. You worked hard for us for 30 years. Here's your Timex.
I
Great.
was gonna say,
Thank
here's
you.
your watch. Here's your
Right.
cheap watch. Yeah, yeah,
Right. But these business leaders, they get honored every year, and it doesn't matter what they do.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. You know, how often do we honor that teacher? We do it when they retire at the end of their career,
Yeah.
right? But, but, like there was a teacher who was honored that I had when I was in high school. He was just honored by the Middletown School District in their Wall of Fame. So they have a Wall
Okay.
of Fame, okay? And he coached the boys soccer team,
Oh my
okay?
goodness. You
Ooh,
just zoomed in.
here we go.
That's a little bit better.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Sit
yes.
lower.
So I'm trying to. I don't know what's going on.
There you
All right.
go.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, that's funny.
All right.
Oh,
So,
ha
the story I was telling you was there was the soccer coach, right? Mr. Clark, Tom Clark. He had retired many ages ago. I had him in high school for economics, right? I got to tell you, that teacher impacted me so much,
yeah.
right? In so many ways, right? Everything I know today about business, about economics, I learned from him. Okay. My love of business came from him.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We
You
usually
know,
have a mentor that really
and,
means
and there
something
were a
to
couple
us.
of teachers. There were a couple of teachers, right? Like, listen, I wouldn't call him a mentor, but he just had a way of teaching that got through to me, um, that resonated with me, in many different ways. And I went back on when he got that award, and I said thank you. I walked up to him and I said thank you. And I think that we just don't do that enough, you
No.
know.
No, it's things are so upside down now. Um and that's we've kind of lost what it is to even be American now or to care about our neighbors. Now our neighbors are against us or we don't know we just if we disagree on politics, we can't be friends anymore. Like that's sad. It's a
Well, it's just this idea, right? Like when I hear Trump make a statement, or anybody in this administration, Miller or whatever, and they start talking about, listen, I'm not a Democrat anymore, but when they start talking about Democrats, okay, being evil or being anti-American right? I love my country, right? To hear my president say that about me and to have my
And
neighbors
me.
believe that shit, okay, right? It's really disheartening because, I've done a lot for my neighbors here. I've done a lot for people in my community. I work hard, right? I do like my dream was to be an accountant, right? Like, I mean, it's not like
Yeah,
my dream was like I had a really shitty dream, I guess, right? Like I
to
wanted to
become
be
a
an
council
accountant
person
and,
go
and
from
to be an accountant, right? Like so I had a shitty dream, right? But that's my dream and I'm allowed to have it and I'm not a bad guy for wanting that. Okay. And to have somebody turn around and say, "Well, my dream isn't good enough."
yeah,
Right? Or my ideas aren't good enough. Or my ideas shouldn't even be considered.
right, right.
That really is un-American in a lot of different ways, you know? And it's really disingenuous and the people who believe that really, I know that the left gets a lot of shit for like, "Oh, we're trying to force our values down somebody else's throat." Nobody's trying to force anything down your throat. Really not. If you feel that two men walking down the street holding hands is shoving something down your throat, right? Dude, grow the fuck up.
You can walk
Like
across the street.
seriously. No, just grow up. Grow
Yeah.
up, right? Like, you don't have to look at it. You don't have to live that life if that's not something for you, right? Like what happens
Nobody's
in
telling you to
somebody
change your life and
right.
do that, but those
It
people have a
doesn't
right to
impact
be who they are. That's the
the
problem.
doesn't impact your life in one way or another, right? This idea that you have this political elite blaming this one small 1% of the population that may be transgender or maybe immigrant, right? That's not the 1% that's screwing you. They're not
Oh,
taking
no.
anything away from
So
you,
1%
you
up at the
know?
top.
Right.
Yep. You know, and what's sad further is how, this whole movement, if you wanna call it that, has created rifts. Family members don't talk to each other. Friends don't talk to each other.
Wait a minute. Family doesn't talk to each other?
Some Oh, is that new? That's not really new. Okay.
Wait a minute. Is that something that happens where family members don't talk? I'm a Trumper. I'm a Trumper. That's it. That's it. I
Oh
don't
my
touch
god.
my family anymore. That's perfect. I'm great. I'm in.
Oh my god. Oh.
That's all it takes.
Oh god.
I didn't know that. Nobody
No.
told me that.
And actually, if we wanna, sort of go back to the shutdown, I want to, just quote a little bit from Heather Cox Richardson. For those of you who don't know who she is a, well-known historian and a writer, and she does podcasts. She actually, does podcasts towards, daily politics chat. But she has, if you subscribe to her Substack, it's called Letters from an American by Heather Cox Richardson. And yesterday she posted, something regarding the SNAP program. Um, so I'll just read a little bit from it and then we'll talk about it. So yesterday, the Trump administration said it would not use any of the approximately $6 billion the U.S. Department of Agriculture holds in reserve to fund the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. They have $6 billion. They're telling you there isn't any. Okay. The government shutdown means that states have run out of funds to distribute to the more than 42 million Americans who rely on SNAP to put food on the table. Roll Call's Olivia M. Bridges notes that this position contradicts the shutdown plan the USDA released in late September. Then it said congressional intent is evident that SNAP's operations should continue since the program has been provided with multi-year contingency funds that can be used for state administrative expenses to ensure that the state can also continue operations during a federal government shutdown. These multi-year contingency funds are also available to fund participant benefits in the event that a lapse occurs in the middle of the fiscal year. So there's money. Yesterday, USDA memo also says that any states that tap their own resources to provide food benefits will not be reimbursed. So today, in yet another violation of the Hatch Act, this was yesterday, that's when this was posted, in another violation of the Hatch Act, for those that don't know what the Hatch Act is, it basically means that civil service workers and agencies cannot be partisan in their decision making or through their work. They are supposed to be nonpartisan, non biased. Okay? So, in violation of the Hatch Act that prohibits the use of government resources for partisan ends, the USDA Food and Nutrition Service website reads, Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program, also known as SNAP. Bottom line, the well has run dry. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens, talk about that, and gender mutilation procedures, please, to reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutrition assistance. Okay, I'm not going to continue with the rest of the story there. You can go look her up on Substack and read the rest of the essay. But yeah, first of all, there's $6 billion waiting there that they can use. Secondly, and she did talk about this, we had make that $40 billion to lift up the economy of another country, Argentina. They got money during the shutdown. You know, Kristi Noem got planes during the shutdown, ballrooms being built during the shutdown, but you can't release the $6 billion to feed Americans? Then you're going
They
to
don't want
point.
to feed Americans. I keep
We know
telling
that.
people
That's the
that. They
point.
want people to die.
That's the point.
That's
That
their
is
point.
the point.
That's their point. And their point is to point the finger, right? They're in power. They control the House, the Senate, the White House, and SCOTUS. Okay? And yet we're supposed to believe that a handful of incompetent people who really can't even steer a ship straight, okay, are responsible for shutting down the American government. Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Yo, anybody believes that, please DM me now. All right, I have a bridge to sell you. Okay? I will give you a very good deal on a bridge. Okay? It's located in Brooklyn. It's a great bridge. It's the best bridge.
It's the best bridge.
It's one of the oldest bridges in America. You'll love the bridge. It'll be fantastic.
Oh my God.
DM me. I own it. I will sell it to you. I'll sell it to you.
Cheap.
Very
Bargain basement price.
I mean, come on. Like, this is garbage
So
stuff.
this goes back to what we were saying before. The fact is that while they all have the power, they're also not there. And you just pointed out that Mike Johnson said, we're not going to reconvene until after November 1st, after people can't get food.
They don't care. They don't care if people go hungry.
No.
Listen, they're building a giant dining hall made of gold. Okay. Right? They're building a giant dining hall made of gold so that they can gorge themselves in it while Americans starve. Are you like, come on. Like the visual on this. Let's look at the visual on this, right? Right? They're building it. Okay, it's not as if it's not being built, right? There are pictures. They already started work and construction on building a golden dining room. Dining room made of gold.
That looks like the dining room in Russia.
All right. They are building this while Americans starve and while Americans are having their health care ripped from them.
Yeah,
Okay?
this
This is
is the plan. This is the
right.
Project 2025 plan.
This is what we would call the golden age,
The
right?
Gilded Age.
The Gilded Age. I
Gilded.
mean, enough. Like we are all being played. I'm not going to say
Big
you.
time.
It's we are all being played, right? This game, right? That's being played. We are all being played, right?
Look
There
at
are
the
not two
video.
sides. There isn't a Democrat or Republican side. Anybody who thinks that I'm sitting here espousing democratic values, right, doesn't know anything about me.
Right.
Okay, has
Yeah.
has absolutely no idea who I am or what I believe in, right? Because I could tell you what the Democrats believe and what I believe aren't necessarily the same thing, right? Because of the fact that all I see these Democratic politicians go out there and do is preach for the status quo. Okay? Status is not quo. I do not agree with that. I do not believe in that, right? So go knock on somebody else's door with that crap.
Right.
Okay? When it comes to the oh god, now I lost my train of thought. you know, but when it comes to the Republican side, right? I mean, they're just flat. They at this point in time, they're not even pretending to give a shit. Like
Yeah.
they're outright telling you they just don't give a shit about social programs. They don't give a shit. Like you want SNAP program. The only way you're getting a SNAP program is if you beg some billionaire to fund it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you have to show loyalty to that billionaire. That
Right.
that's where we've become, right. So we have billionaires bailing out our military, right.
Oops.
We have billionaires bailing out the president. We have billionaires are now taking over. The country is being sold hook, line, and sinker to billionaires. Okay.
Yeah.
And I can't pull it up on
No, I've
my
got, I want to show you this video.
oh,
A
okay.
lot of you might have seen it. This is a dystopian view of this ballroom, but it's really well done. Some of you might have seen it. It's been around for a while, but I just go back to this because let me tell you. Let's see. Let's share the screen. I want to maximize this. There we go. Here we go. Watch this. Did he?
And that was the end of the first phase of democracy as laid out by the Founding Fathers, and the beginning of the healing.
Wow. That is a pretty powerful video. Let me stop sharing this. There we go. And I'll close that out.
interesting.
Yeah. It's a pretty again, have you ever seen that? Yeah, just a dystopian look at what the future might look like, but it looks like at the end, there is some hope a century from now.
What they don't show is between them burning down the White House, right? And prior to that, okay, they show the sort of Gilded Age nonsense. What they don't show is the people burning in the ovens.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Yeah. But they point to it. If you were paying attention when they show,
Yeah, but it's listen, you talk about these things, but people have this idea they want to believe in what they want to believe in.
yeah,
You can tell them all the stuff. You could tell them all the facts. You can give them all the facts, and they still won't believe you. They still
right.
won't.
Yep.
You know, I mean, there were there are people who come up to me and who've said to me, you know, all that stuff you were saying, I really wanted to believe you. I really didn't believe you, and now I can't believe it was true. Right? It's hard to believe. It really is. You know,
Yep.
but the funny thing is, this is what I find is so interesting. So I'm going to share a video now myself,
Okay.
right?
This is fun.
Because this is really more or less what I believe in.
Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, hey,
All right,
it's
let's see.
oh,
We have
maximize.
a two-party system.
We
The
gotta
Democratic
maximize it.
Party, which is a
trying.
party of no ideas, and the Republican Party, which is a party of bad ideas. And the way it works is the Republican stands up in Congress and goes, I got a really bad idea. And the Democrat says, and I can make it shittier.
Yeah, this is where we're at.
See, that is in line with my belief system, right? I don't I'm sort of like everywhere else in America, right? Like I mean, people can talk about me being partisan or me being Democrat or whatever they want to say, right?
Yeah.
I'm really at the point where I don't believe, I don't trust, any of these freaking people.
Yeah.
Really just don't. You know,
No, and we shouldn't.
I've been on the inside, like I've been on the
Yep.
inside of this thing, in this machine. I- there's a lot. There's a lot, and people got to know that there's a lot, and it's sort of like nobody wants to see how the whatever it is made, right?
Right.
You could talk about whatever the food is, right? Nobody wants to see how it's made, but they want the results, and it's like you're not even getting the results anymore.
No.
You're not getting the results
Nope.
anymore, right? So the idea being, if you're not getting the results anymore, okay, then you got to know how the meat is made at that
Yeah.
point, right? Because something's happening that you're electing somebody, you're electing a neighbor, you're electing somebody in your community to do something for you. That person goes and then doesn't do it for you. Okay. And you got to ask, well, what happened in the middle? You said you were going to do it for me, but then there's no accountability because that person who you just sent, who didn't do what you asked them to do, is coming back and saying, but if you vote for that guy, it's going to be worse. And both sides are playing that game. Like I
Yeah.
can't even, you can't even say that both sides are playing that game. It's
Well,
crazy to me.
there's a lot going on here because okay, we have one side that we know clearly what their agenda is, but then we have the Democrats. We have two different types. And, we have them blocking more progressive people from coming forward. Some of these younger people who, we'll go with Mom Donnie, Graham Plattner, AOC. These are younger people who speak for the younger generation because the way things are going, people that are, in their 20s and 30s, they don't have the future that we had coming out of the 80s and 90s.
We've talked about that before, yeah.
Yeah. They don't have that future. And their kids, let's not even think about, children now, what their future is. It's heartbreaking. And seeing how hard the let's face it, the PAC paid um politicians, the one who are paid by billionaires, they're beholden to their owners. And anyone who comes out that is grassroots, that gets their money through, just by knocking on doors and are just doing the legwork versus, and they're turning away PAC money, those people are being pushed aside by the institutional politicians. And that's why we're seeing what's happening. It's basically two sides of the same coin. It
But
really is
but
two sides
here's
of the same
here's the
coin.
thing. The issue is Democrats are responsible for that, right?
Both sides are
We
responsible.
n-
They're all
n- Dem-
responsible.
Democrats more so than the Republicans. Like the Republicans, when the Tea Party came about, the Republicans weren't happy with the Tea Party, but at the end of the day, they embraced the Tea Party, okay, because Tea Party started winning,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
right?
we're gonna
But on the other side of it, right, you look at Democrats, right? I'm going to go back to a local campaign that happened in this community many, many years ago, right? There was a local guy, right, who was running for Congress, right? Matt Alexander. He ran for Congress. You may not even remember him, right?
no.
He was a mayor out of the village of Wappingers Falls, okay?
No, then I
And
wouldn't know that.
and he did a lot of really good things for people, right? He was really great. And he was a nice guy. He really tried to help out in the area. And he really had some good ideas when it came to going to Congress, right? At the last minute, right? Who comes riding in? Sean Patrick Maloney, who didn't live here, right? Didn't know any of the local community, had not knocked on one door ever, right? Did nothing about local politics, okay, right? But was a Clinton sponsored guy, Clinton backed guy, jumps into the race, and you start talking to to Democrats in the area, and what did Democrats say? We don't want a local guy who knows our area and shares our concerns. We want to win. So we want to go with the money. And Sean Patrick Maloney is backed by money. So if we go with him, he'll have the money to beat Nan Hayworth.
I remember that name sounds familiar.
She was our congresswoman. So when you start looking at how the Democrats did not act in their own self-interest. They went with the money because they felt that that was the only way to beat the Republicans. And now that that money, right, is being used against them, okay, all of a sudden they're crying foul. Vote differently now. Now you
Yeah,
have a chance, instead of voting for the same garbage that you know will give you garbage, who are bought and paid for, vote differently. Now you need to go back to the drawing board, and you gotta look at and revamp your
absolutely.
entire strategy, right? And Democrats aren't doing that. They're just not doing that. They're running away from it,
But we do have
because of their money.
yeah, because they don't wanna let go of their apron strings. But that's where we come in. Primaries need to be brutal. And this is on both sides. You gotta brutalize both sides because they are trying to cannibalize us. We need to cannibalize them. Get them out.
Start questioning people. That's why we invited both sides onto our podcast, right? As a way of saying, listen, come on. If the other side has such great vision, right, and great ideas, come on. Come
Yeah,
on the podcast, share them with us. I'm open to hearing any great idea. I'm just not open to covering shit up and lying. I will not lie for you. I will not cover shit up for you. Just like I won't do for Democrats. I won't do it for anybody.
there you go.
Okay? Just never happened.
That's it.
All right. We gotta wrap up soon though.
So we got.
We've
So
been
I see
on
we
for
have a
another
couple of
hour.
people. Couple people found us while we're sitting here doing our test live stream. If you have a question
Oh
or
yeah.
want to engage, just go ahead and type it in the chat. I'm monitoring here, so feel free. If you're shy, that's okay too. But yeah, this is actually our test podcast. We're looking to do this probably on at least a weekly basis or maybe one night during the week for like an hour and just do some live chats and
Okay. So I have one more topic to talk about
oh, okay, we'll do that.
because it before we wrap up, because I
Okay.
want to hear your opinion on this.
Oh,
And maybe the public wants to chime in.
okay.
So my daughter goes to school. She's in high school.
Okay.
She came home with some extra credit homework. Okay.
Okay.
And it was a political survey. It was a
That's
poll.
really
It was
that's
a political
interesting.
poll asking her about the government shutdown, who was responsible, who she felt was responsible, how she feels about President Trump, and her views on President Trump, right? Like it was absolutely I was stunned
Politicizing
reading
our
this poll.
children? Politicizing our
That's it.
children.
Right. So when I hear indoctrinating our youth, stop saying it's the fucking liberals.
Yeah, that's politicizing. Yes, we are, Marty. Hi, Marty.
So what are your
For
thoughts
a
on
few minutes. For a few minutes. I'm all we're getting ready. That's Marty. He's connected. So my thoughts
knows
are
where to
is,
find you now?
yeah, he knows where to find me. Shit. That's my husband, by the way. Say hi. Say hi, Marty.
Hey Marty.
So my feeling is this is politicizing our children. This is indoctrination. It's very concerning because it exposes, when kids put their first of all, kids shouldn't be having an opinion at this age. How old is your daughter?
16. She should have an opinion.
Okay, she might have
She
an
should
opinion.
absolutely have an opinion. But listen, I get, there's an idea of current events, right? So, to
So you can talk
understand
about
or
the
learn.
current events, but asking what your opinion is of the leadership and that opens up because when you open up that discussion, knowing how hostile both sides are because everything has been so politicized, that's not right. That's going to cause conflicts within the classroom, conflicts amongst kids, conflicts outside of the classroom. And I think it's wrong. I think it's okay to discuss the shutdown and its implications for food assistance and everything there, but blaming whose fault it is, getting into the real politics of it. No, I don't approve of that. I would be
It
calling my teacher, that teacher.
it was it was very interesting because it like, so I mean, as you can probably imagine, I have a very political household, right? Like we talk politics all the time,
You
right?
were a
Like, so,
freaking you were a freaking
right,
councilman for 8 years, of course.
right. So, but my daughter doesn't like to hear about politics. She like tunes me out like all the
Yeah,
time.
she's blocked it
As a
out
typical
because it's
as a typical teenager, right? Like she doesn't listen to her dad, right? So now she's sitting down with me, and the thing is here I'm trying, like, these are complex issues, right? The questions that she was being asked were very complex.
yes.
Okay, they can't be distilled into, like, you hear me say it, a 10-word answer, right? They can't be distilled into yes or no or right or wrong. Okay, there are complex issues, and the one thing I try to raise my daughter on is I don't want my daughter to have my opinion. Okay, I want
Right.
her to have her opinion. I want her to understand the issue because it's going to be her generation that has to solve that issue. Okay,
That's true. That's
and
true.
so for me to distill it down the way they were trying to distill it down in the survey or the poll, right? I really felt like it was, I had to sit down with her for a long time, and we had to go through each question, and it was a long explanation, and I'm pretty sure my opinions or what they were looking for wasn't what was there, right?
Let me
Like,
ask you a question. Was there anything within that homework that directed the children to talk to their parents? Basically getting
no.
the okay, okay.
And not for nothing, I mean, if you're 16 years old, like, there are certain issues you're not that aren't even gonna be on your radar,
Yeah.
and there were a lot of, like, questions that weren't even like, she was like, "I have no opinion on this because it doesn't impact me."
Really? Yeah, so Marty just said they did that during the Nixon, so this was during Watergate, I guess. I didn't think it was wrong as long as they did not insert their own political views. Well, they didn't insert a political view, but they requested the child's political view. Ver
Bingo.
And so that and obviously a child's political view is most commonly going to be the politics that's within the household, unless you've got both sides going on. But if everybody is in agreement on a specific political view or how they're being raised, then their political view might be getting shaped by their family. And their
But that but could that poll then be used? And again, I go into the conspiracy theory. Could that
yeah,
poll be
yeah,
used to target families?
yeah,
Right?
that's exactly where I'm going.
They've been turning around, right? And they've been talking about saying we're going to root out this evil. This evil being obviously me because, the Jewish kid, right? Who's an accountant and talks accounting is really going to be, the guy who overthrows somebody, right? Like I mean, like I'm a danger to anybody, right? Like I mean, it's ridiculous. But um right, that's what we're talking about, right? Like, we're talking about them coming after me and my family and targeting our children to gain information about our families
Yeah,
and what type of families we have.
that's the reason why I say I would pick up the phone and call and say, "Well, what is this? Why are we, why are we creating creating a hostile environment within the classroom based on politics? Don't we have enough of that on television? Don't we have enough of that? Well, I guess we have it in our lives all the time."
But do you want to be the person, cuz everybody now is on the defensive. Everybody's waiting for that Karen moment, okay? How do you like this has become my issue. How do you have a conversation, right? So this gets to the next thing. Okay, you say call the teacher. What is the conversation I'm supposed to have with the teacher that won't make me look like a Karen and won't get the teacher on the defensive?
I don't think you have to put them on the defensive. Just ask them what what was the point of this assignment? What are you hoping to accomplish with this assignment? What are you trying to do?
And they're just
And
gonna
I
say,
and I,
"Well,
I
we're discussing current events, and this is a current events poll, and
okay, so
we
so
were told by the administration that that this is the poll that they wanted the kids to take."
and it was a poll. Did this
No, but I'm
go
just saying, right? This is what
that
I'm
might be
saying.
a
This could be
response.
a potential response, right?
So, okay, so the poll is what you think about the shutdown, but okay, why do you think a 16-year-old would be have any opinion of whose fault it is? I could see talking about the SNAP benefits. I could see talking about the healthcare. I could see talking about the implications of, you know, thousands of people out of work. I can see talking about that. I can't see talking about the politics end of it and laying blame. I think that's just taking it to a different level. That's just my opinion. Anybody else
It's
have an opinion on this that's watching?
I really would like to hear people's opinions about this because from my perspective, like listen, I had a parent who would immediately like jump and run in there and like guns a blazing, like that was her thing, you know. Um, I would absolutely do that if my kid was in a situation where I felt that was necessary. But we live in weird times,
Oh, we live in very weird times.
and I asked the question because You know, I think I mentioned on a previous show I had an issue with one of her teachers, and
Is this the
I
teacher?
had, no, different teacher,
Okay.
and I reached out and I was trying to just engage in a conversation,
And it
and
went south real
and it went
fast.
south real fast, right? And you know, it's not a question I have. Um, it's just more of like a perspective, and I'm trying to gain a perspective from the teacher. I don't have that perspective. How do I get him or her to share that perspective with me so that I am on the same page, right? I want to be a good teacher for my child, just like they want to be a good teacher for my child. And if things like this are coming to my attention, I should understand, right? And maybe that's my fault. Maybe I need to go to more parent teacher conferences, or maybe there needs to be a way to communicate with me on these things, or there has to be a way where I can communicate where it's not going to be seen as being negative or me filing a complaint or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I we've just becoming this society where everybody's like
Well,
just
so
waiting to blow, right? Like everybody's just like
well,
waiting to blow.
that's how the media is doing it. This is purpose. This is purposeful. They want us fighting with each other and not fighting with them. So they do shit like this to get the try and find out, to politicize your kids. I think it's terrible. I mean, it's okay to talk about the implications of the shutdown, just like I said before, but it's not okay to ask your political opinion about it. They're 16 years old, and then they're trying to shape your kids' political beliefs. That's your job as the parent to do that, or their own, or to expose them to both sides and let them draw their own conclusions. But
It's always been my theory.
I would call if it was me, I would be calling what is the point of this particular poll? Why do you care about their opinion about Trump? Like how does that coincide? I mean, I can see where from our perspective there'd be a connection, but from a child's perspective or a teenager's perspective, why are you making that connection? Why are you not just limiting it to the shutdown by itself? And why are you going further into
It
the
was it was a
political?
it was it was it was it was a lot more than just a shutdown. I mean, there were a lot of questions. There were like 20 something questions
So what
on this
kind of other
poll.
questions were there?
I can't remember them all. There were some about Trump. There were some about the courts. There was a lot about diversity. Um,
Ooh,
about
and what
right.
kind of
Like I
questions about
mean,
diversity? Like what do you think of
like
diversity?
do you think that something about do you support discrimination or something like that, or anti-discrimination laws against certain
Thi
groups?
did you get a copy? Do you have a copy of that poll? You
I
should.
don't know. I don't. I got to get a copy from my daughter. Like
Yeah.
there's certain things you just don't want to make a big deal of either. You know,
This is
like
more than, but this is a deal. This is a big deal. This
well,
is highly
I
inappropriate.
yeah, I know that's what some other people said too.
So you have asked other people and gotten other opinions on this.
Oh, there was even a question about fake meat.
About fake meat?
Yeah. Would you be in favor of the government approving for you to make eat, or would you be in favor of the government approving fake like meat that was grown in
In a
inside
lab.
a in a lab
3D printed
to
meat.
consume to
Yeah, 3D
consume?
printed meat. They're doing that in Europe.
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah,
This
interesting,
is
right?
very disturbing. This is extremely disturbing.
Well, yeah, not for nothing, but that was sort of like that was sort of the thought I had, but I'm trying not to
Now that is
I'm trying
something
I'm
that
trying not to be crazy about it, right? Like,
yeah, but
you really,
they're asking
you
about it. Think
know,
about it now.
I
I don't
know where
know
you're gonna
what you
go with
guys
this.
subscribe to, but I subscribe to Secular Talk with Kyle Kalinske, and I was watching an episode just a few days ago, and he pulled up a survey that said approximately, on average, about 77 cattle farmers, are going out of business in this country on a daily basis because of everything that's going on. But meanwhile, we shipped out $40 billion to Argentina, and not only to prop up their soybean market, but to prop up their beef market. Now Trump said, you know what? Screw the farmers. We're going to buy Argentinian beef.
That's not gonna impact the United States beef
It,
market
it-
at all.
I don't know. I don't know. Here's the other
It,
thing, though,
did you
because
did you see, because there was a special? Did you see the special? I think it was like on 60
net.
Minutes or whatever. They went down to Argentina and they were talking to the beef farmers down in Argentina, and they were like, "We're happy to have the market, but like we serve a premier beef, right? So
Oh, so
and
the prices would
we
be higher.
the prices would be higher, right? They produce
Okay.
luxury beef to like high-end restaurants and stuff like that in the United States already. Like it's a premier beef. It's not like
Oh, I
the
didn't know
beef
that.
that we eat. It's a premier beef. So it costs more. Not only that, they can't produce enough of it to actually lower the prices in this country.
Okay.
So he's basically just saying, well, instead of charging on a tariff on Argentinian beef, we're going to take the tariff away on Argentinian beef, right? They're really not going to compete with our farmers, and it will do nothing to lower prices. But we don't want to, because we're wealthy, because we're billionaires, we don't want to eat American beef anyway, because that's for the common folk. We would rather eat the Argentinian beef, which is much, much better for us, and it's much better beef. You can get the lab grown beef. We'll take the Argentinian beef.
And
That's what was said. And if you didn't hear that, right, then you're not listening close enough, because that's exactly what was said.
and basically screw the American cattle rancher.
Right. Listen, they don't care about cattle ranchers. They don't care about soybean farmers. They don't care about farmers. They don't care about anybody.
But
They really
themselves.
don't care. They
Top
right.
versus
Everything is
down.
about themselves. I mean, look it. And for anybody thinking I'm letting the Democrats off the hook, Democrats, all they talk about is the midterms. I'm sick and tired. Midterms are next year, dude. You're gonna make me go through this shit another fucking year? Fuck you, right? You don't have my vote. You don't have my vote. Seriously, right now you don't have my vote, right?
You need to
If that's
get
what you're
off your asses and do something
right,
now. And
get off your ass
start
and do something.
supporting the people that are actually speaking out against
Right.
this.
Right. There's this woman who's running for Senate in Chicago. She's a Palestinian woman. Kat Abazala or whatever. I can't
Oh
pronounce her
yeah,
last name.
yeah. She's been
Right.
beaten by freaking
She
ice.
she's out at those protests every day.
Yes, she
She's
is.
complying. You show her comply. Like she has everything on video where she's complying with the orders. You could hear the conflicting orders being given to her. Then she gets pushed down to the ground and beat
Yep.
up. Right. Like, I mean, not for nothing, right? She stands for something.
Yes.
Okay. You may not agree with whatever she stands for, but she stands for something.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we need that kind of passion in there right now. We need something. Both sides need that.
Yep.
Right? Like both sides need some passion, right? I mean, one side is
Absolutely.
just is covering up pedophilia and sex trafficking, right? And then you have the other side, which literally, it looks like The Walking Dead.
My God. God,
Like,
we are so cooked,
like,
man. We are so cooked, people. Oh,
hold on.
man.
If I had my glasses here, it would be like, I had this my old uncle from Long Island. I remember this time, and oh my God, it was so great. And we like, oh my God, fucking kill me already. Jesus Christ, man, get to the point. What the
Yeah, tell
fuck?
me about it.
I can't listen to that anymore, man. You know, I listened to that growing up. I don't need that shit anymore.
Anyway, well, listen, folks, this has been a fun little chat. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but we'll be doing more live streaming. We're gonna get a schedule down of how we're gonna do this, and make sure that we can have a schedule set up so we can be here and we can chat and you can engage with us and not be so shy to tell us what you think or tell us how you feel. Let's get that out there.
Oh yeah, we've heard that some of you feel great. Keep it coming. We love it. Watch our show. Just make sure before you comment, you watch the entire show.
Yeah, yeah, please. Well, so I don't know about oh wow, we got more people that jumped on. This is funny.
Right,
Then
we're about to
we're about
jump
to
off, and
go.
now everybody's
And now
jumping
everybody's
on.
joining on. But yeah, we will get a schedule down. We're gonna work on this, and we will post it. You can follow us on our Facebook page at the Tao Talk Podcast at Facebook, or you can keep it here. But that's where I'll post a schedule. Obviously, you can like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you, and also watch our videos. We have a number of videos that we've got posted. I think we got like, 35, 40 videos now. All right. And thanks so much. Have a great night. Enjoy what's left of the weekend and be safe out there. See you soon. Take care.
Peace out.